Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about retouching a close-up beauty shot. This is it. I took it a few weeks ago for Exposing magazine. So first thing I want to do, I want to crop the image because it was supposed to be really close-up beauty. I was using the 70 to 200 and as you know it's not the best for like macro shots and stuff, so I do have to crop in quite a bit. So that's the kind of crop I'm kind of looking at. Maybe just a tiny bit less there, maybe a bit more fixed there as well. Okay, so this is the kind of crop I'm looking at. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to enable profile correction, and I do that because sometimes the lens can distort the image and create like a vignette around the image and stuff, so this is a good way to get rid of it, and as you see it kind of changes the shape of the face as well and stuff. So I'm going to do that, and then finally in Lightroom I'm going to just go and grab a tiny bit of clarity, and I do that to kind of make my skin texture a bit more visible. I find it makes the beauty retouching kind of look nicer at the end. So this is the image here. I'm going to export it to Photoshop. Okay, so once we have it open, I just want to talk to you very briefly here. First thing first, I want to work on the kind of slight fallout under the eye. You know, it happens and a little bit in the eye as well. And then any kind of skin imperfections, there's pretty much no skin imperfections, but the tiny little bits that need to be fixed. The nail has to be fixed here, maybe just the same bit on the hand, so it's not just the same color. And that's about it. So I'm going to start with the skin as usual. I'm going to create a second layer just so I can kind of see a before and after and kind of as I go along. So I'm going to be using the healing brush for change, and I'm going to sample the good skin next to the bad skin, and then I'm just going to cover it basically. Because it's such a close-up portrait, it's kind of important to get kind of quite close to the skin, just to kind of make sure that you don't miss any imperfections or anything like that. So as you can see, most of the stuff that I'm fixing on the skin is not, it's not even spots or anything. It's just usually just the skin texture, or if there's like any small little pores or anything that kind of shows, because the light is quite harsh. So this is what you kind of have to keep in mind, that like anything will show with this kind of light. So just kind of slowly chip in bit by bit, see how it looks, and then just fix whatever kind of needs to be fixed or what you feel needs to be fixed. You can try and start fixing the fallout as well. I might go to patch tool for this one, just because I find the texture or the darkness still stays on the skin, so I prefer to kind of so now let's just go back and have a look what we did with the skin. So as you see, it didn't feel like a lot, but it does make quite a difference. So it's just those little imperfections, little kind of bits of skin that are uneven, but it does make quite a difference. So now that we have the skin here, I'm going to go close up to the eye. And as you see, there's those little specks in her eye. So I'm just going to grab, or I'm just going to stay with my patch tool and maybe just grab an area that seems clean and just kind of go bit by bit there. You could go a few different ways about it. I just find this one, I think, the most convenient. So okay, now this little bit here, we'll see what we can do with that. Yeah, I might just try and do that. So just grab that and just push it into the clean area. Here, now I'm going to grab my stamp tool, and I'm just going to grab the clean area as well. And just go over the areas here and here. Just have to go bit by bit and make sure that it looks kind of natural and same as the rest of the image. I'll come back to it in a later stage as well. I just kind of want to get rid of the kind of initial stuff out of her eye. Now, next thing is the nail. So I'm just going to stay with my stamp tool here and just sample kind of above and go over the area there. that's quite an easy way to kind of fix any kind of nail imperfections or anything like that. Okay, also now the nail here, as you see, it has a little kind of line. So we're going to sample the nail here and just go over the line ever so slightly. That's better. I'll show you a little before and after. So as you see, it's quite a change. Also this nail here needs a tiny bit of fixing. So I'll do those two, just kind of blend the nail around and then go back to the stamp tool and go around the edges the same way as I did with the previous one. Now I'm going to grab a brush on a low flow, probably around 2, and I'm just going to go around the skin area ever so slightly. It's just a very kind of low kind of opacity little kind of brush to just kind of even out the skin a tiny bit. It does kill the texture a bit, that's why I'm going really lightly over it, but sometimes I kind of almost like when I kind of dull down the texture a tiny bit, ever so slightly. As I said, nothing too serious, but it just sometimes evens it out quite nicely without doing too much. As you see, it's just a tiny little bit dulled down. So now I'm going to create my first layer. So just create new layer here and then go into color. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm just going to fix the a little bit of green that is around the eye there. So just go around the area that you kind of feel like it's a tiny bit kind of off balance or off color, whatever you want to call it. I'll show you. As you see, it doesn't feel like much difference when you're doing it, but it is. It does balance the color quite well. Okay, so next I'm just going to go into the fingers again. I'm going to grab this color here and then just go around the areas that seem slightly reddish and just go there. Oh yeah, and also what I'm going to do, because I forgot about it, I'll go back to the eye, because as you see, this area is still quite green. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this layer here to actually go make this area here a bit more gray. Cool. And then back to this layer here. And then go over this here. Okay, so let's see a little before and after again. As you see, it's quite a difference again. Now, I think I am done for now with the skin, so I'm going to go into my adjustment layers. So I'm going to start with curves and I'm going to go into highlights first. Not too much, just kind of watch this area of highlight here and maybe around the eye, just so it's not too overexposed. And then maybe a tiny bit of shadow, but not too much, so maybe input 4. And now I'm going to grab another curve layer and do contrast curve. So I want her skin to be quite pale and quite light. Like, I mean, the model is quite pale naturally, so I just kind of want to make sure that it kind of shows on the photo. So I'd say somewhere around here, or maybe even a bit more. And then just a tiny bit of contrast. I like that. Okay, now I'm just going to go into dodge. You can use many methods, I just figured this one would be the easiest since we're not really using dodging and burning this time. I just want to brighten this area of the eye a tiny bit. Maybe use mid-tones. Now be careful that, or make sure that you don't go onto the eye area here, so just kind of make sure that it's like a nice sharp line, because you don't want it to look kind of blurry. What you could also do is grab the burn tool and just go around the iris area here, or the eye area here. Okay, now I'm going to go over the eye color here, just because I want it to be a bit more intense. So I'm going to keep the burn on, maybe exposure kind of 7, 8, and then just go over the area ever so slightly, because I think it's going to give it some nice depth. Perfect. And I'm going to go back to the dodge and just go ever so slightly over the teeth. Our model has great teeth, but just to kind of match the brightness with the eyes since I adjusted it. So now let's do a little before and after to see how we're doing with just the 2 adjustment curves. So as you see, I'm doing quite little. We changed quite a lot. So now finally I'm going to go to hue saturation because I feel like I want the green to kind of pop out a bit more. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of saturation there, maybe plus 12, 16. You can see here as well, I kind of like this green. And then I'm going to reverse the layer, or reverse the mask. And grab white brush, flow maybe 18. And then just go around the green area that I want more intense. So I'm going to go around the green. I'm going to go maybe around the eye a tiny bit, maybe around the lips ever so slightly. So as you see, the difference is very, very minuscule. It's literally just a tiny little bit of color. I don't want to go extreme. Now if I see any highlights that I want to add, but I don't want to be creating a dodge and burn layer, I can just use the dodge thing here. I usually go on mid-tones because I find it kind of most versatile. So I can just go kind of over the areas that I want kind of highlighted, and anywhere that you see, even like skin imperfections, if you want to kind of brighten them, it's a pretty good way. And now finally I'll grab the burn tool again and just maybe go over a few lines there, maybe the nose here, same bit there, maybe the eyebrows, corner of the hair there, maybe a tiny bit on the cheek, but don't go too hard, a bit too much. Maybe I'll go to exposure 4. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. Let me just show you a little before and after. So as you see, it's small little adjustments, but it changes quite a lot. Now what I'm going to do also, I'm just going to sharpen the image because then you will be able to see a bit more details. So smart sharpen, and I might go, let's make sure the eye is sharp. So I might go maybe 138. As you see, here's the little before and after. See the eyes? As you see, there's quite a difference. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you next week.